Hey yo, what's good? It's me, Saul, and today we are ranking the best synchro monsters currently in the game of Yu-Gi-Oh! Duel Links. Few disclaimers before we get started. 1, this is my tier list. If you don't like it, go make your own. 2, the criteria by which I will judge these cards is largely subjective. You know, if I think they have a little bit of sauce on their fit, you know, if I like the way that they look at me, if they speak to my spirit, my soul, then they get ranked higher than otherwise. Obviously, their power will be factored in, but this isn't an objective thing where it's like, oh, this dominated the meta. Even that's somewhat subjective based on how impactful you think a particular card was. Another disclaimer, I hate synchro summoning as a mechanic. There's a reason this took so long to do, and it's because I don't synchro summon. The fact I'm bad at math. I'll say it. I'm a little bit dumb. So as a result of that, I never actually use synchro monsters, and I like to talk about things that I've personally experienced, right? So it's easier to rank cards that I use, but when it comes to these cards, I'm largely ranking them on how well they have been used against me and how oppressed I felt at that point in time, right? So with that being said, let's get started. Ascalon, Dragunity Ascalon, recently taken off of the ban list, able to live freely. Do I like you? Do I respect you? The thing about Ascalon is it has some good floating in its back pocket, right? Like if you destroy it, I'm pretty sure it floats into something else, and it's a big beat stick, and it can banish infinitely. The only thing is it needs fuel for that banishing, which is good, but it can only come out in its own archetype, which isn't as good. But that being said, its archetype can bring it out relatively consistently. It's a long chain that can be disrupted. I want to put Ascalon in A just because of the potential that it has within its own archetype. Like it was good to OTK with Ascalon back in the day. I never did it, but it happened to me a couple times. So based off of that and how if I see myself going up against a Dragunity player, I immediately know what's about to happen. That's how consistently they were able to output that strategy, and I had to prepare myself to not get OTK'd. So the fact that just this card alone makes the deck OTK viable, I'm gonna put you in A. Azure Eyes, is it Silver Dragon? It's a Blue Eyes card anyway, and I just realized that the Blue Eye Spirit Dragon, the other synchro, whatever it's called, isn't here. And I mean, I made this tier list, so I guess maybe subconsciously this is a spot for both of those two cards because they're always used together, right? Now the thing about this card is I'm immediately putting it in S because one thing that very much spoke to me was the fact that when this card received a limit 1 alongside Melody of Awakening Dragon, Melody of Awakening is a very powerful card, and they immediately dropped it. It wasn't even a question, is how good this card is. All of your monsters that are on the field when this card hits the field are untargetable, and then the card that gets you into this card can just quick play bounce off of the field in order to bring this card out. I think I intended to put them together on the list, and I think that just for what they turned Blue Eyes into and to how much they mean to that deck, they go in S tier because they provide that protection, and because of that great protection, they don't need to float, but it also summons monsters from the graveyard on the next turn, every single turn, which just helps you get that overwhelming board presence as well as protection. So S tier. Black Rose Dragon. Baby girl is slept on, you know? Baby girl, I don't see. Here's the thing. I watched some of 5Ds. I love the design of Black Rose Dragon, and the ability to nuke the entire field seems so cool. My biggest problem with Black Rose is it nukes itself too, and that's just always been so frustrating to me, because if it was just a clean board wipe where I get to stay, then yeah, I'd feel more like I'm gaining card advantage off of that. But I know that more often than not, if I'm summoning this onto the field, I'm about to end up on a completely clear field, which if I don't have follow-up for, not great. That being said, decks like TGs that can summon this card on your opponent's turn to board wipe them, and then you get your turn after that, really, really good. It's a powerful card. Does it belong in B? I feel like I'm offended by the fact that it wipes my board clean when I don't want it to. I feel like that hurts me on a fundamental level because I like having things, and this card takes those things away from me. I'm gonna leave you in B. Let's move on. Briannak, this card, right? S tier. In fact, I'm gonna put you up here. Leave. I think Briannak is but now his year doesn't look as cool. Oh, but now it doesn't look as cool. Hold on, wait. Oh, the aesthetic. Oh no, I don't like this. I don't like the way that, oh no. Briannak has to be an S tier. Do I like the way you look down here? I'm thinking more about the aesthetic than where the cards actually deserve to be. Hold on. No. I'm gonna leave you in S tier until I have a reason to think otherwise, right? Because I just like the idea of Briannak coming onto the field and sending cards back to your opponent's hand. It's a generic card that can be splashed into anything. It is a UR, so it's kind of tough to get, but it's absolutely worth it. Level 6 synchro summoning, not that hard to do, right? Because most decks will have like level 4 monsters, level 2 tuners, bing bang boom, you got it, right? So I think it's very easy to make it. Any deck that can make it generally does, and just for that fact, nah, Azure Eyes is archetype specific. You go in A. You're a beautiful card for the archetype you support, but you're not generic, right? I feel like because you can't splish and splash, that's nah. S tier has to be reserved for, yeah. I like the way this looks. Yeah. We're moving on. That being said, any sense of order or credibility that I've established is about to go out the window. Yeah. Ally of Justice Catastor. I know that this card is I love it. I haven't said any words. Hold on. I think that this card has some sauce on its fit, like in its back pocket. Here's the thing about Ally of Justice Catastor, right? Because it's a level 5 monster, so not many decks level 5 synchro summon, and I get that, but this card's effect is so powerful, right? If it battles a non-dark monster, is it non-dark, non-light, whatever, if it battles a monster that isn't that specific attribute, it gets destroyed, right? Non-targeted destruction for any monster that isn't in a specific type is so freaking good, and it's generic, bro. It can go into anything that can make it, right? The problem is we don't have very many good decks that can make it, but as soon as we start getting, well, I don't know if we're ever going to get, but if we ever did get decks that can make this card consistently, like, it's a great card, my guy. I like it. You can fight me. This is my tier list. I feel like every time I make a tier list, I have to tell people to fight me because I've made a ridiculous decision, but I justify it based on the things that I like. All right, we're moving on. Coral Dragon, I want to put in S for the same reasons as Briannak, and I'm gonna tell you something right now. I don't actually fully know what Coral Dragon's effect is. When I tell you I don't synchro summon, I mean it, right? I'm pretty sure you discard a card to destroy a card, and it's very splashable. It's another generic one, and I think it has some form of floating potential. So I'm putting it up here primarily just because I see it everywhere. Like, I see it in Infernity. Again, any deck that can make Briannak is most likely also running Coral Dragon, I think anyway, and so I think it makes sense to have it here. So I don't have much else to say on it. We're moving on. Cyber/Harpy Lady goes in S, and let me tell you why. Right off the bat, before I say anything else. Cyber/Harpy Lady is an XYZ monster hiding in a synchro disguise, right? She's a transformer, and I love her for that because the rationale between her is you just take any one of your Harpy monsters, they're all level 4, just slap 2 of them together, and boom, you've made this card. It's XYZ summoning. It's not a synchro monster, and I love XYZ summoning, so I'm gonna put you higher up. I like you, right? That being said, she's also a generic monster. Like, any Harpies primarily make her, but any tuner monster can make her, right? So she's a generic monster with a decent effect. Not even just decent, it's a good effect. I like her effect. Bounce 1 card back to the hand. It's just, it needs to be triggered by a spell effect, but she's actually a generic monster despite you not seeing her generically, so I'm gonna put her in S. I feel like my lack of overall knowledge about synchro monsters is making this tier list very, very top heavy. That being said, I'm putting Dark End Dragon in D tier. It's here as an honorable mention because I've seen it a couple of times in Resonators, right? They go into it quite often while doing their chain. And actually, if I'm remembering its effect correctly, it sends a monster to the graveyard. It's a targeted effect, however, it's not a destruction effect. It's not a destruction effect, so it sends a monster to the graveyard. That being said, until Resonators came along, I never saw anyone making this. So despite having what I'd say is a decent effect, like it's it is targeted, but again, non-destruction removal can be quite useful to avoid like certain floating effects and everything. So I do like it, but also it looks like a cockroach and it makes me uncomfortable. I'm putting you back in D. Okay, we're moving on. Fortune Lady Every, what I'm realizing in making this tier list is that there are a lot of generic synchro monsters, and I guess that is only surprising to me because I don't use synchro summoning at all. Like the ease with which, when you think about it, you can just put these cards into a deck, right? The problem is you kind of have to take that with the caveat, because if you're synchro summoning, that means you have to have tuners, and I feel like that's what makes them not as generic. Like with XYZ monsters, you just slap them into a deck and boom, you're making them, whereas with synchros, you have to intentionally build your deck around the possibility of getting a tuner on the field and synchro summoning. So even when a synchro monster is generic, if you're not already synchro summoning, you're probably not making it. That being said, I think I want to put in S tier. I might not have any credibility left after this. Every, to my knowledge, is a very splashable monster. I see her around quite often. I don't actually know her summoning requirements, but getting to float basically endlessly by banishing the very cards that you use to summon it, right? Coming back every single turn is powerful floating, and I respect that. I respect floating to a very significant degree. Plus, it has a banish effect on it. Nah, she's beautiful. You can't. Am I even sorry? I don't even think I'm sorry. No, I'm not. We're moving on. I put Goyo Guardian on the list. I just like him. I don't know what to tell you. I know that he can't be high up because he's got a cool. Okay, hold on. Let me talk to you. Let me talk to you real quick. He's got a cool effect. You destroy a monster, you yoink it. That's what vampires do, and they're all the rage right now. They're the new hotness. Injustice upon my homie Goyo Guardian. C tier. I'ma do you right. Even if the whole world is against you, I'm not for you, but I'm not against you. You can stay in C. Light Sworn homie Michael, I'm gonna put you in B tier, right? So if anyone doesn't know, the Light Sworn homie, what he does is you pay 1,000 of your life points, which is a hefty cost, but then you get to banish one of your opponent's cards, which is ow, I bit my, did you hear that? Did you hear me bite my tongue? Ow, making YouTube videos is hard, man. Ow. I don't even remember what I was saying. Michael goes in B. I'm not explaining it. No, my tongue hurts. I'm moving on. Red Rising Dragon, rising in popularity, but only in the Resonator deck, right? It's just a combo extender. Ooh, but it's a good combo extender. It's a really good combo extender because it brings a tuner back out from the graveyard, right? Which is very, very solid because it's literally, you rise into the next stage of synchro summoning, which I think is pretty cool. And I mean, I feel like it's telling that this card was in the game and no one was using it until the Resonator package came along, which means I don't think it's a great card in and of itself, but it's found a home. It's found a home where it can be loved and appreciated, and I think that that's important. So I'm gonna put you at a high B. Your move. Yeah, I like that. High B. I freaking hate Samurai Destroyer. It's going in S. It's going mid S or high S. How do I feel about you? Samurai Destroyer. I've had so many experiences because I used to rock the Bujins and just like other various decks, pretty heavy on the ladder and everything. And someone would just slap this out, and all of a sudden I can't use my effects to like boost my attack or anything. You just and you just lose. I had to reconfigure one of my entire Bujin decks just to be able to play around this specific card by using overlay gain because it can't prevent the effects of skills, right? Like if a skill is boosting your attack, then it can't negate that. It was so ridiculous, right? It caused me so much grief, but it also felt extremely anime coming up with the solution on how to deal with it, right? Because it's like, how do I keep on running into this matchup? How do I improve? My deck isn't built for this. And like, well, I'll build it for this anyway, and I found a solution, and that felt good. That felt really, really good to me because I figured out like with overlay gain, there was a specific break point because you only needed 200 extra attack with Susano to boot. Yeah. S tier. Good memories. And a good effect, by the way, but it negates it. Your opponent can't activate effects when this card is battling, if you didn't already realize that. So yeah, S tier. 6 Samurai Shien. Do I actually believe you to be an A tier? I don't think I do. I just think I like the way that you look in A tier aesthetically. But as for your effect, it negates 1 spell card per turn, which yeah, you're not doing a whole lot, Chief. Ooh, you're not doing a whole lot. No. But its archetype can bring it out relatively easily. but its archetype, it's six samurais are lacking right now. I said it. Six samurai, they're not looking the hottest they've ever been. Yeah, oh, it hurts because he's got so much drip. Look at it. No, we have to move on. I'll change my mind if we don't. We're moving on. I don't think I actually know this card's name. No, this is Shogun Saga. I think this is Shogun Saga, right? This card, I played it like when I started playing Duel Links like around when it came out, like 3-4 years ago, but I took a break, and around when I came back was towards the end of the Dark Magician era. But that being the case, Shiranui was around for a long time, so I came in just as Shiranui's time was about to end, so I experienced quite a bit of Shiranui on the ladder, right? And this card just boosted itself so high, and it was just mean. It hurt my feelings a little bit, and it's a good card within its archetype. I would say. I say it gave its archetype enough power to be relevant. But then I'm gonna just skip to Shogun Saga. No, I just did Shogun Saga. This is Sun Saga, right? Sun Saga defined an era, right? Because at that point in time in Duel Links, if you're not building your deck thinking, how do I deal with Sun Saga, your deck is a joke. You're not winning because Shiranui was everywhere, and this card just made it not impossible. I personally never thought Shiranui was impossible to beat. It was a difficult matchup which you had to be prepared for. If you were prepared for it, you might be fine. You'll probably be all right. But if you're not prepared, you get steamrolled, and that's the difference, right? So I just for the fact that it helped Shiranui to define an entire meta game, it belongs in A tier in my opinion. Okay, back to doing things in order. We have TG, I think his name is Star Guardian. He's here almost as an honorable mention, but not really. I recently learned how to play TGs, and I didn't realize how useful this card is. It's an amazing combo extender. In fact, no, I'm gonna put it for its archetype, because if Red Rising Dragon gets to be in B tier, that should also get to be in B tier, because as a combo extender, it is phenomenal. It is such a freaking good combo, because I didn't fully realize what it did until I learned to play the deck. But you can summon this card, add a card from your graveyard back into your hand, and then special summon a card from your hand, and this card is a tuner monster, and this card can quick play Synchro Summon on your opponent's turn, and it's a great, in fact, I think it's a better combo extender than Red Rising Dragon. It's just the problem is what you're extending into might not be as solid or as strong when it comes to TGs. So I think based on their archetypes, like if Resonators had a card like TG Star Guardian, I'd be a little bit scared. Stealth Ninja, here once again because of personal preference. I enjoy Super Heavy Samurais. I think Super Heavy Samurais are a good free-to-play option. They're a fun free-to-play option, and I have quite a few friends who play Super Heavy Samurais. That being said, so within its archetype, it's very easy to make, very consistent to make. It's great at OTKs. It is great at, like, sometimes ridiculously so. The ability to attack your opponent directly is insane, but on top of that, it floats if it gets destroyed by a card effect, which I think is amazing. Your opponent probably won't be destroying you by battle because it's so easy to boost your defense to like 4,800. Oh, by the way, it attacks while it's in defense position, so you can't get Drowning Mirror Force, you can't get Sphere Curry, but hold on. The more I talk, the more I think you belong in B. The more I think you belong up here. Yeah, I like that. I like the way you look at me. Yeah. You get to stay there. I like you, Stealth Ninja. Yeah. And then last up, Vermilion Dragon Mech. You already know what it is. You already knew what it is. S tier, right? It's a level 9 splashable card. It was popularized by Blue Eyes, I think. I don't actually know this, right? Because like I said, I don't pay attention to synchros. This was literally just a list for fun and to make all the synchro players mad, right? Because for all I know, this tier list is upside down. This is just I'm just having a good time, right? But yeah, Vermilion Dragon Mech. Oh wait, no, maybe I think I got this card's effect mixed up with Coral Dragon. I think this is a card that discards a tuner and then destroys a monster, and then no, it banishes a tuner to destroy a monster, and then if it gets destroyed, you add a banished tuner from your graveyard. I don't know what this card does. I'm sorry. With that being said, that is my Synchro tier list, ranking all the Synchro monsters in the game. I hope you enjoyed. I don't know how you would have, but if you did, please leave a like and comment your thoughts. Please be merciful, be kind, be nice, be gentle. I've been Saul. I hope you've been entertained and informed, and have a great day, friends. Bye.